Hi, everybody. Westlake checking in here. I have an opportunity this afternoon to talk with a skydiver of all things, right? Crazy Cat Mack, and that is her nickname. I'll let her tell you what her real name is. And we're going to talk about her experience and her recent completing of the Nourish Your Life course put on by Nicole Connor. So welcome, Crazy Cat. I almost called you Nicole. Cat, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, why you call yourself Crazy Cat, and where you're from?
Yeah, sure. So my full name is Kathy Lynn Mackison. I live in South Carolina, on the same farm where my granddad was born in 1931. So my lovely grandparents are 88 years old, and I left a 22-year accounting career to spend time with them, to write a book, and to start a coaching program on the zombie life and escaping the zombie life. So I call myself crazy, hashtag crazy cat with a small K, not because I'm whoop whoop crazy, but because I'm like, go be crazy. Why be normal? Have some fun. We spend too much time locked in our comfort zones and not getting out and doing it. As you would know, Mr. Yes, you can. So yes, you can do it. You can too. And you don't have to live the life of, I call it, we're in the business of busyness. And when you stop and you take a moment and you step outside and you realize what's really important, it helps you to get some perspective and to focus on how you want to spend the rest of your life.
It's pretty incredible. Great explanation. And thank you, Kat, for taking a few minutes here. I want to get your experience of Nicole Connor's Nourish Your Life class. So let's talk about Nicole in particular here real quick. How did you meet Nicole, or how did you happen to come across her class?
I met her through Coach Kiwi, and I joined sorry, my phone is going off. I'll turn that off for a second. I joined Coach Kiwi's classes because I had been in accounting for 22 years, knew I wanted to do something different, fell in love with a network marketing company, really struggled, did it all wrong, lathered all over everybody. So I found Coach Kiwi through a friend. And when I started with her programs, I was in a class with Nicole, and she has such an endearing spirit and such a big heart, and she's just the love, and she's one of my best friends, and she lives in California. So it just proves that this whole system of having Zoom meetings with collaboration really works, because you don't have to actually be in the room with someone to create a bond and to be able to make an impact on different people's lives.
Yep, I would say the same thing between you and I, because I met you one time, right?
Yes.
You know, you develop great friendships. It's possible to do online if it's done in the right way. So
Yes.
you met Nicole this way. She puts on this class, Nourish Your Life, and when I first heard about her class, of course, I hear Nourish, and I know that she's an integrative nutrition coach. I think I said that right. I started thinking right away, all right, this is about counting calories. This is about watching what I eat, the different, food groups, and we should stay away. Those are the things that run through my mind when I hear Nourish Your Life. So maybe you can share with us, it is much more, and it's so much more than that, correct?
That's correct. So when we think about being overweight or underweight or whatever it is we want to do physically, we always think about the food that we eat, the calories we consume, and how much we work out, but it's way bigger than that. And Nourish is about the things on the outside of the plate, your spiritual health, your family health, your love relationships, and balance within your life that actually drive how you feel physically as much as anything else, because all of it is connected. And if you are eating things that you preferred that you weren't eating or whatever, it's probably because you're out of balance somewhere else, and you don't either feel worthy or healthy or happy in another part of your life. So she starts out by, you take a test, and it kind of helps you figure out where is your wheel. And I had some flat places. So there was a bunch that had kind of poked out, and they were all I was happy for the areas. They were like the spiritual and emotional and all the things I'd really been working on since I worked on coaching. But there were some other areas financially and physically that I had kind of let come in. So if you imagine that your tire has like a humped in space, you're riding through life with a flat tire, a flat spot on your tire, and you're not going to be running around very efficiently. So she helps us by going through the program kind of talk about maybe you need to spend a little less time on these things because you've gotten those in balance and you're feeling good, and a little bit more time on these because you can only be efficient if everything is getting the time that it needs. It was really awesome. It was super helpful.
Pretty cool. So, I mean, this is probably pretty fitting for you because you left your job and you went, right? I mean, you walked away from a full-time career, and I don't say that. That had to be a scary step.
Yes.
And I'm sure things got that would explain why you had the flat tire, because you get it going 15 different directions, right? So once she helps you go through this wheel of life that she calls, and you determine your areas and where you're weak and you're strong, does she help you dive into that particular area to build it up or to increase it?
Yes. So the program covers the major parts of the wheel, and you go through it each week. And what's awesome is even if you rated yourself pretty high on an area, there's still learning to be had by listening to the other people in your class and their perspective and where they're coming from. And maybe you have a life experience that can help them, or they have something you hadn't thought about and you're like, oh, that's a great idea. So you listen to a video from Coach Nicole, which really helps you to hone in and to figure out, oh, there's some improvements I can make here. And then you bring it to class and you talk through your takeaways, and that collaborative learning is what makes all of the difference. It's really awesome.
So if I take an online class and her class is 6 weeks long, how in the world do I find time? You know, I have a home-based business, I have a full-time job, and then I officiate football on top of that. So how do I find time to take a class, an online class? How does it work? How do you fit it in?
So you get one video to watch during an entire week, and they're generally about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So if you want to make the change in your life, all of us could find 30 minutes, right? Turn the TV off half an hour early or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you come to class and it's 1 hour during the whole week, and that's it. So it'll be 6 hours over 6 weeks. So you've got half an hour watching the video, maybe half an hour doing some reflection time and getting prepared, and 1 hour with the group once a week. So it's really achievable.
Oh, okay. I can see that. So you're getting the videos so you can watch them as many times as you like, whenever you want. So a couple more questions and then I'll finish this off. So you keep talking about collaboration. You get together as a group. I mean, I know that's probably a premier and ideal way to learn, but there's other things you take out of that, right? You develop relationships with the people in your class as well.
Absolutely. So even if usually in her class, I knew about half the people and I didn't know the other half, but you develop these relationships with them, and then you become Facebook friends and you start to follow them, and you just, rising tides raises all ships. So if everybody's going up together, it really is awesome.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. So you've taken a class. What particular thing, maybe, I don't know if you can name one thing, what part of your area of your life have you seen the biggest change, or has it had the most impact on? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. So I loved doing the wheel and then coming back later and doing a comparison. That was really helpful to visually see that I had made some improvements. But the one I enjoyed the most, I guess I would say, that was on love languages. And I had not taken the love language test, maybe ever, but definitely not recently. And I had my grandparents take it as well. And it was just really neat to understand what's important to my grandma and my grandfather, because I'm different. I grew up in a different place, in a different family, and what motivates me is different than them. So now I can say, well, this is important to grandma. So she loves quality time and words of affirmation. So I just leave my phone down here when I go to eat dinner and give her the time, and the love and respect that she really wants. And I can see her light up. And that to me was just awesome, because a lot of relationships struggle and a lot of them have issues, and it comes down to communication and not feeling loved in the way that you want to be loved. And so the other person's trying, but it's not your language. So being able to understand that. And so even applying it outside of my grandparents, now I can tell if my friends, which some of them do, I know they like words of affirmation, and I can tell they're really quiet in a meeting or whatever. I'll send them a private message and just say, hey, I want you to know that I appreciate you. And it just means a lot to them. It makes them feel loved to know that somebody's paying attention. So
Good
that really
stuff.
helped me a lot.
Good stuff. So
Yeah,
that was a worthwhile investment taking the class for you. I like hearing that. So you mentioned already how much you appreciate and respect Nicole. So the class, would you recommend this class to anyone?
absolutely. Especially anybody who is looking to, they know they want to do something different. They know they need to pick up some new habits in life and they're not sure where to start and they want some guidance and direction. It is an excellent class to meet different people of different backgrounds and to start to pick up some ideas on how you can make some really quick impact in your life.
Awesome. Thanks, Crazy Cat. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me this afternoon. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye, everybody.